Hi, in this video we'll take a look at Checkbox's solution for legal intake and matter management. And we'll start here in the dashboard, where legal leadership can get a full picture of everything that is coming through into the legal department. The amount of work, from what departments, what types, and who's it's assigned to. Even data points that allow us to support business cases and make operational decisions. At the very top here, in my example, we have 3 different matter lifecycle stages, from total to open to completed. Now, you might have something different. For example, you might have awaiting counterparty, or perhaps in approval or on hold. This is fully customizable, and so as we make our way through, just know that we can design this for your specific situation. Now, further down a little bit, I have one of my favorite graphs. This one measures the total volume and the types of work over time. Often, legal departments are under-resourced, and it is hard for us to be able to justify the need for additional headcounts or other resources. It's hard to say that we're always busy, that we're overworked. It doesn't really stack up the business case to the CFO. And so a graph like this is able to tell a story to say, well, maybe the volume of requests in the last 2 years has doubled, but the headcount in legal has not scaled accordingly. And so this becomes our bed of data that is able to support additional headcount and resourcing for legal. As we scroll down further, we have matters by practice area or matters and requests by business unit. This also gives us an indication as to what types of work is coming in and from where, and allows us to understand, well, perhaps we need to deploy more self-service in particular areas. Perhaps we need to provide more training to the business around employment. Or perhaps this is just pointing at the fact that we need to hire not just any attorney, but specifically another commercial attorney, as the amount of work there is outscaling the rest. So you can see here, this set of data really helps us understand not only what is coming in, but how to make better decisions around operating and resourcing our legal department. If at any time I'm curious as to what makes up this commercial pie, I could click into that, and it gives me the specific matters as well that is able to that makes up that data set. You can also set up separate tables that summarize things like high priority strategic matters above and beyond the rest. But speaking of the matters at this level, there is another view that we can drill down into, what we call the matter view. And this is more of a tactical representation of all of the data that is coming through. Whilst the view that we just saw is more suited for leadership to understand the aggregate picture of the legal department, this view here helps us more tactically manage work on a daily basis. You can see here that a matter has come through that's been assigned to Dylan from Min, and it's high priority with a status that is in progress. Now, all of these can be changed on the spot. So for example, I might say Dylan's quite busy, or perhaps he's not the right person. I'm going to go ahead and assign this to Dave instead. Or perhaps this is not actually a high priority matter. It's been de-escalated after some discovery and it's actually medium. And it's now actually waiting on a response from the counterparty. And so we can make a lot of these status changes, which of course will affect reporting and the management of these matters as well. All of these columns and fields and values are fully customizable, and so if you wanted to change the values of prioritization or even status, or add another column that's custom to your organization, you can do that. Now, this view here is important because we're able to see different cuts of our matters. For example, I might want to see a specific attorney's set of data, set of requests, things that they're working on. So here I've clicked onto Dave, my senior attorney, and I can see that Dave is working currently on 5 things that have been assigned to him. And I can also do a little bit of load balancing. I might say, oh, Dave's falling a little bit behind recently. He's not as responsive as he normally is. I know he's a great lawyer. And when I click into his board, I realize, oh, it's because he's working on 4 high priority matters. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Perhaps this is a place where I might say, well, Dave, perhaps we should reassign this to someone else. Maybe Jennifer is better suited here, given her workload. Okay, so this really helps you have more meaningful stand-ups or one-on-ones, or just conversations with between your attorney and leadership. But also what we can do is really filter for high priority matters. So here we can see only the high priority matters, which obviously is of particular interest.
And this is, of course, not just for Dave, but across the entire team. And you can create as many views as you like. So you might have views that are specific for labor and employment, specific for immigration, specific for product launches or marketing reviews, right? So you can set up different views that help you slice and dice and understand what is happening within the legal department. You can even create personal views. So in this case, I, as an attorney, might want my own view that is separate from the shared views that an admin might have set up for everyone. Now, on the note of labor employment, I know some of you might be thinking, this is great that everyone can collaborate and see these different requests coming through, but sometimes there are sensitive or confidential matters that come through, things that are related to litigation or M&A or labor and employment issues. Well, Checkbox solves that by having different boards that allow you to segment and automatically triage certain types of requests into those boards so that only the right people, the appropriate people with the access is able to work on those and see the results of those. Okay. Now, the big question really here is, well, how do we actually create one of these matters, right? Traditionally, these matter management tools required the legal team or the lawyers to manually create a matter. Now, no one's going to want to fill out forms and create matters. And if your legal team and your lawyers are not creating these every single time they're getting a new request from the business, then of course it defeats the whole purpose, because then this no longer is your single source of truth and your data becomes incomplete and unusable. But the big question here is, how do these matters end up in this system? Because a lot of the traditional systems struggle with adoption, because a lot of the onus is pushed either on the business to create these matters, or worse yet, for the legal department and the lawyers to create this after a busy day. So I want to turn the page to something that's very important here, which is the concept of legal intake, because that is really how we end up with the matters that then make up the reporting that is important to us. And at Checkbox, there are 3 ways to conduct intake. Our philosophy is, how do we meet the business users where they are? How do we minimize the amount of change management that is required in order to roll out a system like this and get visibility across the legal department? So 3 ways. The first way is email. If you're a very email-heavy organization, just know with comfort that your business users can remain in email, whether that's Outlook or Gmail or something else. They can just send emails into legal like they have always done. So here I'm going to send this email. This can go into your legal@company.com centralized share inbox. This could even go to a specific attorney if someone's emailing their favorite attorney. What happens is they can keep doing that in email, and in the background, Checkbox captures that matter automatically and creates an entry. You can see here, matter ID 250, contract review from Jennifer Miller has come through, and this was the email that I just hit send on just a few seconds ago. It also has the documents separately filed as well. So you can see here the NDA that was under review is now separately centralized with this matter. And if I click into a previous communication, you'll see that Maddie had previously sent a quite long email into the legal department, specifically to Dave, the attorney. Dave then replies from his email to Maddie, and that email reply is automatically captured and centralized again within the same matter. And again, of course, any files and versions of those documents will be captured, so that there's continuity. So that if Dave or Maddie ever went on leave or left the business, all of the context required to continue on with this matter is available for the rest of the team, and knowledge management is better shared as well. So I could go ahead and maybe search in the future for something related to global data protection, and of course this will come up, which will allow me to understand what was our internal stance or guidance that had previously been provided on something like GDPR. You can also, within each of these, add internal notes. So you can see here, Min has added an internal note that might just speak to himself or someone in the team. And with internal notes, you can also tag people. So I might actually say here, hey Minwoo, when you get the answer, please let me know as well. And of course, when I add that note, he will get a notification that he's been tagged. and of course we can collaborate a lot more effectively on this particular matter. So that's really via email, but the second method of intake is through intake forms. So if you have an intranet type organization where your business clients are already coming to legal via a centralized place, like an intranet portal, just know that you can also deploy different intake forms or tiles straight from that system. So here we might have very common requests like an NDA or executing a contract that might then embed itself within a SharePoint, intranet, or Checkbox could also be that home for you as well. Now, upon clicking one of these, they'll be taken into an intake form, which captures information in a much more structured format, right? Things like date fields, perhaps text fields, drop-downs, radios, even upload buttons. And the idea is that whatever a business user fills in can be used to then create the matter. But I want to show you a little bit of magic here. In Checkbox, we also have AI that allows contracts and documents to be uploaded and automatically read by the system to then extract out key terms like the counterparty name, the address, key dates, and even the contract value as well to set up automated approvals and review. So you can see here the AI is able to read even into formats like tables. And from here, what's really cool about this is it is able to then create a matter straight from that intake form. And so when we go back to our matter view over here, you'll see that when I remove the little filter here for GDPR, you'll see this new matter 251 has come through for Yummy Chicago Pizza. And when I click into it, you'll see that over here in Chicago Pizza, that some of the key information has been captured. But here's the kicker. Notice that I never typed in Yummy Chicago Pizza. Notice that I never typed in the fact that it's a sponsorship agreement or that the contract value is $100,000. Actually, what's happened here is Checkbox has automatically not just created the matter, but populated all of the key information in the fields so that a human, so that your precious lawyers or your business clients don't have to do this themselves. Because this is really where adoption fell off in the traditional implementation of software like this, where too much of the onus of data entry and creation and update was on humans. Our philosophy again at Checkbox is to push that onto automation and AI so that we drive full adoption with very little change management to then give the legal department and your GC the data and reporting that is needed without the onus of the data entry that comes with it. Okay, we can even assign this automatically to Goran. Maybe we know that sponsorship agreements tend to be high priority and Goran is our person that reviews them. And so all of these can be automatically customized as well. Now, to finish off, the third and final method of intake. We've looked at email, we've looked at intake forms. The final method is collaboration and chat interfaces. So if you're a Slack organization, you might have your business users in Slack come and say, I need help with a contract. Checkbox also has AI that is able to automatically monitor, read, and respond to those requests. In this case, saying, sure, I can help you. What specific help do you need? And maybe this person says, I want to sign an agreement, but who needs to approve before I do so? And you can see the AI again is able to read that, look into internal policies and organizational playbooks that are specific to you, not the internet, not Checkbox, but specific to you, and is able to provide a very specific set of information that's related to this particular question. Now, not only does it give the answer, it also gives an action button that is able to launch the corresponding intake form or workflow that allows the business user to create the matter or to complete the actual request that they're looking for. The same thing is true in Teams. So here we have a non-contracting use case. We've looked at a few contracting use cases here, but here we're looking at gift cards, probably related to gifts and entertainment and compliance. And so again, the bot is able to very quickly respond, but also provide, again, a link that takes you to the corresponding workflow, either in Checkbox, or maybe this is hosted in your contract lifecycle management or your e-billing system or some other system, some enterprise system. The AI chatbot's smart enough to redirect you to the correct place. In this case, the $100 gift card, which of course would correspond to my gift and entertainment policy, takes me to the corresponding form, which again would create with highly structured data the matter that corresponds to that request. Okay. So that's it for today. If you want to learn more, feel free to visit us on our website at www.checkbox.ai or speak to someone on our team. Thanks.